My name's Tracey Stewart. I train in Whangarei, which is about 2 hours north of here. I train at Far North CrossFit. They've been open for just over 2 years. I've been training with them pretty much the whole time that they've been open, so we all kind of started this journey together. My coaches are my programmers, that's Jake and Ness Lawgun, and they've been coaching as long as I've been an athlete as well, so this journey for all of us has been right from the grassroots for the whole time, which is pretty cool. My first CrossFit experience, basically I started because I was playing Prem netball and I was a bit bored, so I thought, I was watching TV like everyone else was, and I saw some CrossFit, and then I thought, there's no way there's one of those in Whangarei. So I googled it, and it turned out that one had just opened that month, and I thought, wow, that's pretty out of it. Seems like it's meant to be, I'll go and check it out, and then ended up giving up netball, gave up Prem netball, and did my first competition at the end of that year, which was a scaled pairs competition in Newmarket. Me and my partner came like 11th, and then, well, like 4 months later I ended up qualifying for regionals. So that was cool. I think from the point where I'd done that competition to when the Open started, I decided that I wasn't going to play netball anymore, so everything just became a lot more focused on CrossFit as my sport. And
what year was that?
That was, what are we now, 2014, so 2012?
Yep.
Yeah, end of 2012, decided to make CrossFit my sport and just went for it. It was never a goal to get to regionals, it was a really scary surprise.
Yep.
And then when I got there, the best and worst thing that ever happened to me was the first workout was Jackie, and I thought it was going to go really well, and I'd only just learned how to butterfly pull up, and my kipping pull ups weren't even that great, so I think I ended up doing 50 reps instead of the amount I was meant to do, because there's so many no reps in there, and I just made it in the time cap and came dead last, and just thought, wow, this is such a humbling sport. But it's like I'm still coming out of this feeling really good, so I just came last and I feel awesome, so this is obviously a good environment to be in as an athlete. And that was, from there on, it's kind of like, if the worst possible thing can happen to you in terms of performance and you can get over it, then you're going to be okay in most situations. So yeah, I think that gave me a good sort of first big event experience to base everything else on. This year was a conscious effort to make it to regionals. The WODs coming out don't really suit me in terms of gymnastics. That's something that I've been working on, and it's come a long way, but then when they pull strict handstand press ups out, I'm like, wow. So I've got a lot of work in the next couple of weeks, but making progress already, so it'll be cool. Yeah. I played netball from the age of 7. My mum played netball, so from the time I was a kid I was at a netball court, and that was always going to be the path that I went down. When I left high school, I was making it into development squads like North Harbour Development and the National Māori side, but going to university and playing netball, and then everything else that comes with moving away from home, it was just too many commitments for someone at the age of 17, so I stopped playing for a while, and then came back to it, and the most achievement I ever probably got out of it was like just premier level netball, and I thought that was a big deal. But then when you go over to Australia and you realise like there's this whole other world of possibilities in CrossFit, I thought I'd come back from regionals and be like, yeah, I'm real keen to get back into netball, and it just didn't happen, because everything just exploded, you know. And then you're travelling to Australia 3 times a year and getting invited to do cool competitions, and yeah, I just kind of left it behind.
Cool. Why do you think you're good at CrossFit? What's been the key to your success so far?
I think my head, the way that I approach things in my mind, like not always knowing what I'm capable of, but being happy with what I can achieve, and comparing what I can do to what I can do instead of comparing what I can do to somebody who's like a specialist in something. Like the ultimate goal would be able to match someone who's awesome at muscle ups in their muscle ups, but the journey to get there is something to be relished as well, I think. So just enjoying the process of learning, I think that's helped me be quite good at CrossFit. And in terms of skills, it would probably be I'm strong, need a tidy up technique always, and I have a good engine, so like long chippers and things like that, I quite enjoy that type of workout over a sprint, for example.
So tell us about your support network. Who are the people that have helped you get to where you are?
Another reason I started CrossFit was because my fiance lives in Christchurch, so I've got heaps of time on my hands, and probably him being away offers me the opportunity to devote a lot of time to training and CrossFit, whereas I think if we lived together all the time, then that opportunity might not have presented itself. So he's a big support network for me. He'll come to competitions and that, and do his support network thing, and like my parents have come to competitions and they sometimes get what CrossFit is. Coaches, all of their work is done in the gym. By the time I get to the competition, really what's going to happen will be, so they're quite good at giving me the tools before I get there, so that I know what to do when I am there, because if they're giving me the tools 2 minutes before I have to go, then it's already too late. So like the process that we have for figuring out how I'm going to approach things, it works for me.
Awesome. And so you had a goal of getting to regionals this year. What are your goals for regionals?
I was really happy with Open, finished ranked 18th, so top 20 was my goal. Stoked with that. I'd love to stay there, which will be a pretty hard graft, but you know, nothing that's worth it. You have to work for everything that's worth it. So
cool. And in the sport overall, what are your goals in CrossFit?
Ultimate goal, I think, for everybody would be to go to the games. So yeah, that would be the ultimate goal.
Yep.
The goalpost keeps shifting, so the rate of acceleration in terms of progress for me needs to stay at the rate that it's moving to make sure that I can get there. This regionals compared to the last few regionals is all skills, and then previously has been heavy, so just making sure that you've got all those 3 areas really well honed is a big priority.
Yep. What do you think you need to take the next step?
Gymnastics. Heaps of gymnastics. Probably more exposure. I do a fair amount of ollie lifting now, but making that even more of a priority too. Get those lifts up, but mainly gymnastics.
Cool. And what appeals to you about being part of the, again, faster development team?
I've had a year to sort of experience everything and see what is this? What is the lay of the land like? I like that again faster. I like the people downstairs. I like the team. I like the support that they offer their athletes. I think that's really cool. And I think just being able to represent a brand that I've had time to look at and think that's something that I can identify with, I think that's probably important to me, to make sure that what I'm doing is a real representation of something, as opposed to doing something because, well, what do you call it, like selling your soul to something just for the benefit of what it'll give you, rather than being a part of something that can be quite cool.
Awesome.